here's the big question. How are entrepreneurs like us, who have been hustling and struggling to make it to success, who seem to make it one step forward only to fall 2 steps back, who are dedicated, determined, and driven, how do we finally break through and win? That is the question, and this podcast will give you the answers. My name is Brian Kelly, and this is the Mind, Body, Business Show. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Mind, Body, Business Show. Oh, I am really jacked up tonight in a great way. I don't even know why. I kind of do, but I was really looking forward to this show because of this amazing guest that is about to appear. He goes by the name of Kelly Fisher. I mean, come on, what a fantastic first name just to start things off. Come on, that is phenomenal. And he is an amazing man. And I just got to meet and know him a little bit before the show. I've already done some research and I could not wait because this man, I mean, he has so many talents, so much experience, and he gets to take all of that, wrap it up into a nice, wonderful, beautiful ball, and then share the best parts with you to help you get ahead in life. And you must stay on this show to the very end. Do not miss a minute. Get out that notebook. The Mind, Body, Business Show is a show that I had developed with you in mind, and that is the budding entrepreneur, the established business person. It doesn't matter where you are in your walk, your journey with entrepreneurship or business ownership, because I've been doing this show for over 5 years now, and I bring on the best of the best, only successful entrepreneurs. And when they come on, they divulge their strategies, their secrets for success. And you get to be the recipient. It is like going to a very expensive seminar every single week. We do this every week, by the way, for free. All you need to do is sit, take notes, listen intently, focus on what Kelly has to say, and then put it into action. And then maybe reach out to him for assistance when the time is right. And yeah, I think you're going to want to after you learn about this man, what he does, the impact he has on people, and his heart is golden. And that's what I love what I get to do, because to a person, everyone that's been on the show has that servant attitude. And that's why I love successful entrepreneurs, because they all have that servant attitude, opposite of what many might think because of what we see on TV shows and media. Very opposite. Yes. And the Mind, Body, Business Show, it is about what I call the 3 pillars of success. And these came about after a period of about 10 years or so of studying. And I focused on successful people. What made them perhaps more successful than yours truly? And these 3 pillars kept bubbling up to the top over and over and over. And yes, they are the very namesake of the show. Mind stands for mindset. So to a person, each of these individuals that I studied, just like Kelly, had a very positive, very powerful, and the third element, which very few people even consider, and it's the most powerful, they have a very flexible mindset. And body literally means that these successful individuals took care of themselves physically and nutritionally. It's really simple to say it. Go ahead and try to do it. I know many of you are struggling in that area, and I know Kelly is a huge proponent of this as well. And then business is multifaceted. What these successful individuals had done is they had mastered the necessary skill sets that are required to build a successful business, and then to take that business and scale it. So it's not just mastering skill sets and then stop. It's continuing to master skill sets so you can keep growing. And it's a phenomenal journey. And skill sets, what kind of skill sets are we talking about? We're talking about marketing, sales, team building, systematizing, leadership. I mean, I could go on forever. And being a very astute watcher and listener that you are. That's you. That's right. You know that mastering anyone's skill set can take a very long time. The good news is you personally do not have to master every skill set. One of the secrets of a successful business or entrepreneur is that we leverage other folks' talents. We leverage other people's money. We do it in an integrity-based manner, and to where it's always a win-win. And so with that, I would say if you're going to focus on any one skill set to start to mastery, That skill set I would recommend to be the one of leadership. When you don't even have to master it completely yet. When you're in the process of mastering it, you can then use it to leverage by pulling in those other individuals that have already mastered those skill sets that you have yet to, or let's be honest, may never master just due to the sheer time it takes. So there's your first gift right there. Don't go anywhere. Kelly's going to knock this out of the park. I mean, that was a great tip I had to say, but you will be blown away when Kelly Fisher comes on. He's right there. I see him. He's scratching at the monitor. Please let me in, Brian. Let's go. Come on. I'm ready. And I see that there's probably going to be scratch marks when he comes on, but we'll be able to see him just fine and hear him great. So let's go to the next segment real quick. What I also learned by these very successful people is, again, to a person, they were very avid readers of books, and not just any books, which we'll explain very briefly in this next little segment I affectionately call Bookmarks.
Bookmarks. Born to read. Bookmarks. Ready, steady, read. Bookmarks. Brought to you by reachyourpeaklibrary.com.
There you see it, reachyourpeaklibrary.com. Now, a quick word of advice, and this comes from my experience of speaking from stage. You are going to be given several resources during the course of this fantastic show, most of them coming from Kelly Fisher. And what I implore upon you to do is, rather than, succumb to that little itch that tells you, I want to go look at this resource right now while Kelly's talking. No, please don't do that. Please instead, yes, do that old-fashioned thing that a lot of people just are against for some reason now, and that is write down, take notes. And if you are looking to become more successful, you will find that the habit of writing notes is the habit of success. You will find that will take you farther faster. The reason is because I've done this from stage. I've spoken from stage many times. And in the beginning, when I was more of a green speaker, I noticed on occasion, I'm getting close to that sweet spot, the good stuff, the juice, the things that's going to make the biggest impact on the audience's their lives. I know it because I'm the presenter. I know what's coming up. I'll get close to that point and I see someone get up and head out the room and leave, whether they had to go to the bathroom or they had an all important text message they had to attend to. I'm like, oh no, I felt bad for them. They're going to miss the best part. So for you, in order to keep and not miss a single golden nugget, and you don't know when it's going to come, I don't know when it's going to come, but I can guarantee that it will come. I've been doing this a long time. Kelly, after talking to him, you're going to have more than one golden nugget. If you take your focus away for just a microsecond to go looking at something else, you may miss that one golden nugget that could change your life forever. And I don't want that to happen for you. So it's just my advice is to take notes. And I'm going to clear my throat just a moment. Wow, I'm too excited. It's clogging up quick. All right, so Kelly Fisher is coming up. So the Reach Your Peak Library is a website that I had developed with you in mind. Once again, yes, I love giving. I truly, truly enjoy it. And it came about as a result of the fact that I personally did not read avidly until the age of about 47. That was about 12 years ago. I'm giving it a little time for you to all do the math because I know you're curious, and it's a beautiful thing. And the cool thing is, once I started reading voraciously, I began realizing, wow, this has made a massive impact on my life. And oftentimes in business, oftentimes in my personal life, and oftentimes in both, because business is much like personal life. It's all about relationships. And you'll find that as you go through your life and your journey, if you haven't already. So this is just a compilation of books that I have personally read and I vet. And I put them here because not every book I've ever read is in here. I vetted these. And so that gives you the ability to basically increase your odds of not wasting your time reading a horrible book. I'm not going to guarantee that these will all have a profound impact on you personally. At least they did on me. So you can at least go in with the assurance that at least one other successful person has vetted these books and said, yeah, I think these are good to read. So many of these you'll probably recognize. And by the way, you don't need to get the books from this website. That is not the purpose of this site. If you love to go to Barnes & Noble and get a physical copy, please, by all means, go to your favorite bookstore. Go to wherever it works for you. All those buttons go to Amazon. So if you're an Amazon person, you can get them there. It doesn't matter. What matters is you do start or continue reading and then taking action on what you've learned. Now, speaking of taking action, we're going to have some fun. You know why? Because it is time to bring on the one and only Kelly Fisher. Let's bring him on.
It's time for the Guest Expert Spotlight. Savvy, skillful, professional, adept, trained, big league, qualified.
And there he is, ladies and gentlemen. It is the one, it is the only Kelly Fisher. Woo-hoo.
Thank you, Brian Kelly. My best friend's name is Brian. Grew up in Chicago. My name's Kelly, so we got a special kinship right there.
Oh man, we bridged the gap right there with just our names. Isn't that cool? Fantastic. I cannot wait to dig in. Oh, we got already a visitor from all the way over in China. A good friend of mine, Dennis Nurmela, who used to live here in the States. He's an astute businessman himself. Thanks for coming on, Dennis. Appreciate you, brother. Hope all is well. And Kelly, man, I want to get this thing rocking and rolling. And what I'd like to do is give people a kind of an overview of where you came from, what makes you tick, by way of just introducing you, if that would work for you. And then we'll dive into some pretty heavy hitting, fun and powerful questions. How's that sound?
Cool. It's awesome. Love it.
Right. Yes. Yeah. So Kelly Fisher is the CEO of a company called Corp and another company we're going to talk about in a minute. His full day boot camp was born out of a necessity. And when he was a personal fitness trainer, oh my God, you're going to love his background. When he was a personal fitness trainer in Hollywood, California, is when he got all this. He trained a lot of agents, executives, and Hollywood stars, including Chalize Theron, Dick and Renee Russo, to name just a few. These agents and executives and their employees who sat at a desk all day long had the same tight, overworked muscles. Oh my goodness, I can relate to that. Kelly suggested stretch exercises to do. One agent said, if it popped up on my computer, I would do them. So they're seeing it and it would pop on his computer. So the corporate stretch was born. I love that way you coined that. Then as became a certified clinical master hypnotherapist. Woo, this is getting good. Graduating, yes, there it is, from H.M.I, Hypnosis Motivation Institute. I love that place. He had some of the same clients coming from these offices with a new set of problems. They suffered from things like stress, anxiety, overwhelm, and burnout. So what does Kelly do? He designs the Corporate Quick Break, a 15-minute guided visualization to relieve their stress, anxiety, overwhelm, and burnout. How many of you would love that? Oh, everyone should be raising their hand. Realizing these two problems are coming from the same offices, he designed the Corp's full-day boot camp, a complete rebalance of mind and body for amazing success and results. And we're going to be announcing another variation that he has going that is also incredibly powerful. The one, the only, the amazing Kelly Fisher is in the house, ladies and gentlemen. He is here with us right now today.
Wow, what an intro. Thank you.
Goodness. Yeah, it's about time for Brian to be quiet and let Kelly talk for a change. So this is perfect right down the middle of the plate for you, because I love to open with the topic of mindset in every show. And I'm very curious because, Kelly, you've done so many things. You've been successful in everything you've touched. I mean, you go from, well, I don't want to say it. I'm going to let you say your background and mention everything you mentioned to me. But you went from what you started at to where you are now. And it took a lot to do that in each transitional phase. And now where you're at and be successful at what you do in each phase takes even more. It takes a certain kind of mindset to make this happen. And this is why I love asking this question. So when you're getting up in the morning and, being an entrepreneur, every day is not just all rose petals and glorious, nope. I don't know what you call them, fluffy clouds. It's not just, oh, goody, we're in autopilot mode. I'm going to go make some more money. It's a day in and day out grind. Sometimes it takes marketing. It takes a lot of effort, and it takes getting over some hurdles. And so knowing that you have all of these things facing you every single day, trying to knock you back, what is driving you? What is going on in your big, beautiful brain that is saying, Kelly, it's another day. Let's go get it, baby, because we got to do it. What is it for you that's driving you to get up and continue to do this day in and day out?
Yeah, first thing that comes to mind is my big, hairy, audacious goal. My BHAG is to end mental suffering. When I know the tools and I watch people suffering mentally, I have to help. So that's my drive every day.
And that's a big why that could easily catapult many people to get out of bed. And the fact that you have now the tools and the resources to make that happen. That's got to be incredibly empowering. And I would imagine, I don't even dare say exciting for you to get up every day knowing you could have some kind of, I don't know, incredible impact on someone's life. And it doesn't take forever to get to that result that I know of from what I'm aware of in your realm in the hypnosis area. And that's the beautiful thing about that science, which it is a science. It's not woo-woo. These are things I had to overcome mentally to say, I will accept the fact that this thing can help me. Once you've done that, look out. It's an amazing science. And I can't wait to get your angle on it, Kelly, and talk about everything you're up to. So real quick, I would love to set the table by, if you don't mind, is give us a brief synopsis of where you started. Like you mentioned where you started with me, and you could go before that if you want. And some of the different things you've done in your life, how you've changed your vocation, so to speak, and how each one of those experiences led to where you are now.
Absolutely. Yeah. As a matter of fact, it started before our conversation. I would think I was 9 or 10 years old. And I grew up in Chicago. I was a hockey player. And I said, do I want to be a hockey player or a rock star? And Kiss was my favorite band. I'm like, well, there's only 4 of them and I could be the lead singer. So I pursued that career. But the bottom line, I think, is always have a teacher. I hopped on the train every Saturday in Chicago, drove downtown to my vocal lessons, and just whatever you pursue, there's always a coach to help you along. I think that's, people get lost and they feel like, oh, what's next? There's coaches for every aspect of life.
Absolutely. Yeah. And so you chose, I'm guessing, rock star.
I did.
And so what happened next after you went through the voice? I mean, how long did you go through these voice lessons before it stuck and you went in and started becoming a rock star?
Maybe 3 or 4 years. I was going downtown, and then one day I said to my mom, I got some big news. She goes, you're getting married. I'm like, getting married? I don't even have a girlfriend. I'm going to Hollywood to be a rock star. And so I packed up and just drove across the country. And the first 3 months I was there, I found a band that was looking for a singer, and I was literally in front of 1,000 people on the stage. Like the first 3 months I was there, it was an amazing journey, amazing rush.
Whoa. And so you've been involved with bands, and you've rubbed elbows with some big metal bands and their players. So, feel free to drop names as they feel pertinent to you, because I know there are a lot of fans out there that will recognize. There were a couple you mentioned before we started the show, like, oh, I've heard, yeah, I know who that is. Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah. My bass player in my band lived with CC DeVille of Poison. So we go up to the hills Ice Cube, Ice T lived over here. Donna Summer lived here, and we're at CC DeVille's house. And it was just, it was an unbelievable experience. It was, yeah. I mean, I was in a glam band back in the day with long colored hair and makeup, just like Poison. But what a run it was.
And what are some of the things you looking back on that? What things have you now, looking back on that, did you learn from that? You said, I know that probably wasn't the right approach, and now I can tweak it and make it better going forward and help others in the process.
Yeah. The funny thing is, just being in the band, recording music. Now when I record meditations, I do like 4 different levels of mind syncing and stuff like that. So I take everything I've learned into my new career, and even being on stage as an actor, just the lighting, and I got 2 big studio lights here, just the lighting, and just, it's cool how some things like, well, yeah, part of me wishes I was still a singer in a rock band, but everything I've learned actually is coming into play with what I still do. So it's an evolution.
That's the golden ticket right there. And I hope everyone was listening and didn't miss that. Is really what it comes down to, is no matter what you're doing today, what you're experiencing today in your life, it is going to serve you going forward if you apply it and you learn from it. And that could be in a positive and a negative way. We all make mistakes. We all make the wrong choices, having full good intent all the way. So, okay, you slipped that next one in there. I heard it. First, it's rock star. And then you said, I heard this word called actor. What was that?
Yeah. After the rock star life was over, I said, well, I love being on stage. So I figured I studied Meisner. What was the other 2? Stella Adler, and I forgot the third one, but there's 3 main acting courses, and I decided to go with Meisner. So I went 2 years to a Meisner course, and it really changed my life. And even, I mean, I was fearless. So even other actors, students came up to me like, how come he never calls you out on stage? How come he never gives you a hard time? I said, because I'm fearless. Whatever he tells me to do, I do. So that Meisner technique really changed my life.
Wow, that sounds very similar to something. Oh, that's very cool. And then from acting, there was yet another vocation that came from that, or maybe it was at the same time. Maybe it overlapped. What was the next step in your journey?
Yeah, I was personal training at the same time. That paid my bills, being a personal fitness trainer, while I was doing the acting role. And then, it just morphed in like we spoke of. I had this guy I was listening to on the radio every Sunday morning after rehearsal. We rehearsed all night. Sunday morning, I listened to this guy on the radio, and I figured he was a hypnotherapist. And I'm like, oh, he's in LA with me. So I went to go see him, and like literally the second session, I was walking out to my car in Hollywood, and this guy shoulder bumped me real hard. And I got to my car and opened it, and I thought, I would be like really angry that this is gone. This is 2 sessions, it's gone. So I figured H.M.I, Hypnosis Motivation Institute, was 10 minutes away from me in the Valley. So I went to study that new career right there.
And what an amazing place. I've been there a couple of times and sat in a few sessions of where they're teaching other hypnotherapists different things. And it was just like, I didn't even know this place existed. I can't remember the name of the young lady who's no longer with us, part of the Partridge Family, was it Partridge Family or the Brady Bunch? I can't remember.
Miss John Kappas was married to Mrs. Brady.
Yes.
I was walking through the hall one day, and I looked in a classroom. I'm like, oh my God, it's Miss Brady.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome. And the son, I believe, has taken it over.
Yes. Yep.
Yeah. And that's who I met. I didn't get to meet either of the other two because I came on later in the scene, but what a great facility and institute and what they have going. So that tells me you have a great starting point. You know, people want to know the evolution. Where did you learn from? Was it from somebody who learned from, who somebody who learned from, who somebody who learned from, or was it from one of the sources? You came from one of the sources. And that's important for people to recognize that, you know, he got it from one of the biggest experts of hypnosis and hypnotherapy in the world is in this one place that he learned from. So I just want to let that settle in with everybody to know that we are talking to a bona fide expert in this field and someone who has put everything he's got into it. I can tell you've got something coming up that sounds so amazing, so cool that I got all excited about, that you're going to be basically literally going and walking the streets pretty soon. What is that going to entail?
It's a show coming up in March, but I just want to say when Dr. John Kappas, when he was still alive, when I went to school, I was one of those people that just couldn't be hypnotized. I couldn't let go. And he's the first person that actually, he worked with me one-on-one and he hypnotized me. I'm like, holy cow, I get it now. So that was a beautiful experience working with him directly. So next month in Utah, I have a gig. I belong to NSA, National Speakers Association, and one of the guys is a member. He's like, I have an automotive industry where I teach people how to take their business to the next level in automotive. I'd like to come out and speak for us. I'm like, I would love to. So we decided on I'm going to do like a walk around mentalism / street hypnosis, hypnotizing people right there. Like I was telling you earlier, I read people's minds. I could break into their cell phones. I could, pick out a card because they give me the energy right away. It's a beautiful craft. I mean, it's hard to explain because it's like, oh yeah, sure, that's real. No, it's real. If you tune into it, it's real.
And that's what I was asking. I was like, I literally said, this is real? You can literally, this not a trick. It's not a magician thing to go on the street and do these things. And, you see the rapid induction where they go sleep and, it's like you see people drop like, come on. Well, I've been through that. I'm like, okay, in the training realm. And it's like, wow, this is pretty cool stuff. And until people understand and recognize that, look, a lot of people are wondering like, hey, Kelly, I don't want you to come and make me bark like a chicken. Right. And so the wonderful thing about this whole world of hypnosis is that all hypnosis is self-hypnosis. You're just taking in suggestions and either acting upon them or you're not. And it's all you. You are 100% in control at all times. And, I used to think, Kelly, that you had to go like going under meant going to literal sleep, until I learned, no, as a hypnotherapist, you don't want them to sleep. They need to be awake for them to accept your suggestions. Like, okay, that makes even more sense. And so what are some other myths or things that you've heard that would potentially keep somebody thinking, oh my gosh, get away from me, you crazy weirdo hypnotherapist? What are the things you've come across? And then what are the answers for them?
Yeah, I was going to say hypnosis, the word means to sleep because that's what they thought people were doing. And then they realized, oh, shoot, they're not sleeping. They're actually a hyper alert. There's 4 brainwave frequencies. And what we do is we lower the brainwave frequency from, beta, which is speeding 14 to 30 megahertz per second. That's anxiety, fight or flight. I only have 2 choices. Take a deep breath. Let's lower it down to alpha. Let's get the brainwave frequencies down. So it's just lowering brainwave frequencies and getting into a natural state that, even from my stage shows, when I do stage hypnosis, I say, listen, you're ever driving on the freeway and all of a sudden your exit's 3 exits back? Who's driving the car? It's highway hypnosis. So we go in and out all day long. And most people that say, are you going to hypnotize me? I say, no, I'm actually going to wake you up. You've been in hypnosis for a long time.
Oh, that's awesome. What a great reframe on that. Yeah, I use that analogy all the time with the car. Like, who's driving it? Well, it's still you. It's your subconscious that took over, and somehow you still made it home. How many times I've gone on a trip and I get home and I'm like, I don't remember the last 10 minutes of this at all. Like, it's gone, but I'm home. How did that happen? And so the mind is incredibly powerful. Oh my gosh. There's so many examples, but I don't want to go through them here. It's just, that's why I love having you on the show, Kelly, because you have the background in, the hypnosis. How does it help people that have issues? I mean, okay, let's do this. What kind of issues? Like, what are the common ones that come to you that are kind of big issues for that person, that if they were to eradicate that issue and change their life, it would change them dramatically? What are the ones that you've experienced, that you've worked with?
Yeah, that was a great question, because most of my clients have been through 5 or 6 years of conscious therapy. And, God bless them. I'm sure there's a lot of great therapists out there, but even Einstein said you can't fix a problem from the same level of thought that created the problem. He's talking about the conscious mind. Ooh. So everything, we run on patterns. Like I told you, I have a 6-year-old. There's no conscious mind up until 7 years old. So everything is programmed in. They're all in alpha. That's why they have such great imaginations. The floor is lava, Papa. I'm like, oh, shoot, the floor is lava. Holy cow. So, they don't have a conscious mind up until 7. And then things that get programmed in, every one of my clients, I do what I call a reverse timeline. Okay, all behavior serves a purpose. We want to change that behavior. Let's figure out where it started. Let's go. Oh, 8 years old, you were told all this negative stuff from parents and friends. We go back to 8 years old in hypnosis and literally reframe it, because the subconscious mind doesn't know any different, and they don't have that trigger anymore moving forward. So it's a permanent change that it just, I love what I do.
It only shows, that's all. It's very similar in so there are a lot of great mindset techniques that help you to reprogram your conscious or your subconscious brain for improvement. And you basically just said, because it's permanent, that is reprogramming one's subconscious brain. And some people that I've dealt with, I'm NLP certified, and I have some experience in hypnosis as well. And there are some people that think, what do you mean reprogram my brain? Whoa, easy. It's not that. Don't worry. It's good. You'll be glad you did it. So you learn how to properly pre-frame things so that people understand and can be comfortable knowing that you're there to help them. And the thing that's truly helping them, this is the beautiful part, the amazing part, is their own mind.
Yep.
I mean,
my speech to my clients is, I'm a template. I'm a guide. I'm going to give suggestions and take you back there. But then I don't say anything, because I want it all happening inside of you. Your imagination is going to visualize this new outcome. And everything is 70 trillion cells in the body are all where the subconscious mind and the imagination is. You're literally reprogramming yourself. I'm just a guide.
The really cool part about it for me, I'm very, and I'm getting less so because I'm training myself to be less so, very analytical. I would say analytical for fun. very analytical, and because I'm always trying to make sense of everything, I mean everything. And so when I first started with NLP, nothing was working for me because I'm dissecting it in my mind. How can this be? It's illogical. It's not working, blah, blah, blah. And when I finally realized, like, just let it go. Act like you're a child again. Just be free, enjoy it. Act like you're playing with your toys on the bed, something. Just release that stuff. And the moment I did, wham. And the cool thing in the process is the stuff that goes through your mind, and you will remember it, is never logical, or usually not. It's usually almost like you're dreaming something when you wake up and go, wow, that was a weird dream. It's just, I wasn't expecting that, as more of the response you get is like, wow, that was interesting. I've had times where I bring up a memory I didn't know I had anymore. I remember being a kid on the carpet, and this carpet had a specific pattern. I didn't remember it for years and years and years because they ripped it out when I was still a little kid. And it came back, and I'm like, whoa. And I remembered a toy. I don't remember a little play toy. I was like 3 or something. I don't know. It was like awesome. So the mind is supremely powerful. And that's what I love about it, that you, Kelly, have the tools to help them to tap into their subconscious, and they get to clear out any of the weeds and stuff that has been impacting them ever since. Isn't that an amazing gift to have?
It is. Like I said, we all run on programs that are, it's like, well, why would somebody stay in a bad relationship? Well, they've seen their parents go through it. They had 3 bad relationships. It's a program that we run on. And until you analyze it and sit back and go, oh, I'm running on this old program. I don't want this anymore. Let's go back in hypnosis and change it.
And that's the thing. The beautiful thing is you don't have to lay on a couch and relive all of these horrible memories over and over and over to finally eradicate them. And we're finding more and more that doesn't work very well. Again, like you said, God bless all the therapists out there that are trying to help people. But I love rapid change. I want instant change. And the beautiful thing about our collective brains, each of ours, is it wants change, and it wants it instantly. And your brain has that power to do so. It just takes the right direction, So Kelly is there just saying, you know what, let's take a right there. Go ahead and take a right. And then you tell me what you see, or just recognize what you see there. And then, okay, great. Now let's take a left turn. He's just giving you directions, and all you do is follow him, and then you get the results you came for. It's that simple.
Yeah, I can't tell you how many clients, virtually all my clients, but like I said, been through 5 or 6 years of conscious therapy. And my opinion about that is, like, we're just going to peel the scab off a little bit every week. Well, of course it's not going to heal. I had so many clients that one guy comes to mind, young kid, he was getting off drugs, and he's like, yeah, I have 5 years. I was talking to this therapist about my drug use. I'm like, how'd that make you feel? Like going to do drugs? I'm like, yeah, we didn't talk about your drug use at all. I'm talking about future and what you want to be when you get older. But it's all future pacing and positive thinking, and it's powerful stuff.
Yeah, it's like the very powerful statement I learned from my mentor when I was going through all of this was just one sentence: you get what you focus on. So if you focus on great stuff, you get more great stuff. If you focus on crap, you get more and more crap.
Yep.
And so, sitting down and reliving all of these horrors, I can't imagine how that could help, even though, everyone has the best intentions that are going through this. I want the shortcut to success. I don't want to spend hours and hours on a couch. So when you do hypnosis, what would be an average? I mean, I get it probably varies from person to person and from issue to issue. What would you say is a sweet spot for how long someone would need to come and go through your hypnosis sessions before they start seeing results?
Yeah, I tell people, give me 3 to 6 months, you'll be a different person, guaranteed. Because one of the things I do, which a lot of hypnotherapists don't, I record the hypnosis part on my phone, audio, and I send it to them. I say, you listen to this once or twice a day before we meet next week. It's just because I compare it to my personal training days. I say, listen, if I told you what to eat, how much cardio to do, what to lift, and then I saw you the next week, I said, how's it going? Oh, it's great information. I didn't go to the gym at all. Oh, no. You have to listen every day. You have to reprogram. It's mental gymnastics, I call it. You have to reprogram every single day. So it's quick and it's permanent. It really is that way.
I love it. Yeah. And that's the beautiful thing. And so you're saying they don't have to keep coming back to you for life?
No. I had a couple clients. One, she was actually, she came to me I had a few clients that came to me suicidal, and
Ooh.
she goes, I had a friend that actually killed herself. And so I know this stuff you buy in Japan where you open up this can of whoop ass in your car with the windows rolled up and you die. And one of my dear friends went through this. And so when she told me about it, I'm like, oh, she goes, yeah, I bought it. It's in my trunk. I'm like, well, listen, you're not going to need that. We're working together now. And I said, you're going to throw that out. So it was like 3 sessions in. I was like, did you throw that out? Did you go to landfill and throw that out? She goes, no, not yet. I said, listen, before we meet again, you are going to throw that out. And so, like I said, she had a lot of issues. So, God, we worked together almost a year, I think, but we got through it all. And she's actually coming out to Vegas. She's like, I want to give you a great big hug for helping me change my life. And it's just, it's beautiful.
I'm like all over my body, just massive tingling goosebumps. You saved someone's life. God bless you. Thank you for doing that. I love what I get to do is meet amazing people like you. And you know, that's got to be one of those driving forces that gets you up too in the morning. Like, you know what? If you don't continue to do what you do, someone may not be saved. Yep. And I don't mean to put that on you as a pressure thing. And no, oh crap, I'm stressed out. Brian said, no, not at all. Not to suggest that, just the opposite, that please keep doing what you're doing as long as you can, for as long that makes sense for you, but keep saving more people. And, you know, it's not just saving a life, like from life or death. It could be sometimes saving a life from unhappiness to happiness. There's a micro saving, I look at it as, and that's what NLP did for me personally. I wasn't on death's bed, but you know, I am a Christian, and I looked at this as the next best thing to being a reborn Christian, a born again Christian. It's a born again human. physical form is like, but it's all in the mind. And I thought, oh my gosh, I have never enjoyed life more since I learned NLP and became certified, and then became a practitioner of it and spoke it from stage. And I would highly recommend hypnosis to anybody out there if you've never experienced it. I mean, look at this guy. Come on. That's the guy that can take you to your next. You know what I say, Kelly? They're gonna come see you as themselves. They are, you know, version 1. But when they are done with you, they are going to leave as themselves version 2.0.
Yeah. Well, one of the things I teach is the power of now, my clock without hands on it, because like Eckhart Tolle said, there's nothing but now. Future worry is anxiety. Past regret is regret. It's in the past. There's nothing, we can't fix those from that viewpoint because they don't exist. There's nothing but now. So it's a very powerful concept.
Yeah, we would just say, when would now be the right time to eradicate everything in the past that's keeping you from going forward?
I had a client, she was angry with me. She goes, I have a grandchild. I'm going to show you a picture of him. How dare you think the past didn't exist? I'm like, you're showing me the picture in the now. It was taken in the now. It's kind of my evidence that like, I know these concepts are heavy. I'm sorry to go there with you, but
yeah, I mean, the past is real. It did happen, and we all know that we have the memories of it, but at the same time, it doesn't serve us going forward. And that's, you know, I hear so many people that say, I want to leave a legacy when I die. And I'm thinking, for what? You're not going to be around. What do you care? Yeah. I mean, it's a good thing. It's a noble thing. I understand it. And I don't mean to belittle it, but I'm thinking, but why is it so important to you? Some of them, that's the most important thing, is I want to leave a legacy for others. And I think, wow, I just want to plant a seed and let them know that there is an afterlife and that it's forever if you just do one simple thing and accept Christ. That's it. Other than that, that's my legacy. So I don't find this importance of I don't know, kudos and all those things. Like 20 years from now, people look back and go, yeah, Johnny Carson was a fantastic comedian. And that, you know, that's great. But I don't know, this legacy thing, I have this weird thing about it.
I agree with you completely. It bleeds over into the ego thing. Like,
yeah,
once you get rid of your ego, who cares about legacy? You're living in the now. It's so, you know.
Oh man, Joel Solomon. I love this man. Kelly Fisher is the man. Thanks for doing what you're doing. Joel is a great guy.
I love Joel.
I can almost guess that he referred you to this show because he is the referral king. Thank you, Joel. Oh my God. He's referred, I don't know how many people to this show, and everyone without an exception, just like you, Kelly, have been phenomenal. Thank you, Joel. Appreciate you and love you, brother. You are an amazing guy. And so, speaking of amazing, I want to get into your newest venture It's called Global Mind Stretch.
Mhm.
And if you don't mind, I was just going to pull up your site and give you the ball, so to speak, so you can just kind of give people an overview of what it is you're doing now, what your focus is on now. What's your avatar? Who are your clients traditionally? Who are you mostly serve? It doesn't mean you only serve them. And then if you have a success story or two, more than the one you just shared with saving a life, I don't know how you. It's not that you have to beat that story in any way, shape, or form. We'd love to hear another success story if you have it, but I'll bring that up and kind of let you take it away if that's all right with you.
Cool. Awesome. Yeah.
All
Yeah.
right.
The Global Mind Stretch, that's the name of my company, because my big, hairy, audacious goal was to end mental suffering. So I called my company Global Mind Stretch, because once an idea is stretched to a new imagination, it can't go back to its old form. But yeah, I have a free meditations on here also when people go there. So it's a introduction to anxiety solution. Anxiety is my specialty. So if they go to the website, they could put their email in, get a free meditation. It's a 6-month mental mastery for high achievers. And I frame that because the corporate people I work with, my last couple clients were just typical, own 3 businesses, were stressed out at work. Employees didn't understand them. They brought it home, argued with the wife and the in-laws. And once I got them to a place where they could slow all this down and enter, I literally did a guided visualization with one of my clients. I said, right before you enter the meeting, listen to this, realize you're giving and you're part of, running this company. And it just changed their life going through this. And then obviously not bringing it home. I have a program called Fall Asleep Instantly, so they could go sleep at night, didn't argue with their wife or the in-laws. And just once you get in control of your thought process, this thought, feeling, emotion funnel system, I call it, once you get in, because there's no external stress, there's no external anxiety. It's things are just the way they are. How we filter them through is everything. And once you get in control of this thought, feeling, emotion funnel, you could walk into any situation. You could handle anything. It's a power move.
I love how we filter. I mean, that's really what it comes down to. And the interesting thing is when people react angrily, say to us personally, most of the time it's never personal, because most of the time we've never met before. They don't know you. And how can it be personal when they don't know you yet?
Right.
And so we internalize that, filter it as personal, and get angry in return. When instead it just means typically they're going through something that we don't understand, but they are definitely going through something that obviously had nothing to do with you. And maybe they could instead use some help if they're open to it, versus us reacting angrily. Do you talk about being at cause or anything similar to that in your teachings and your courses or anything like that, where you kind of take responsibility for the situation as much as possible, so that you're not always pointing the finger at the other person and saying, what could I have done to potentially, make that person understand? Maybe I didn't speak it the right way. They're not getting me. And it's not their fault. I'm going to put it on my, not make it my fault, but I'm going to be at cause and responsible and say, how could I have restructured that to potentially get a better outcome for both of us? Do you go through anything like that?
Yeah, you read my mind. I was just about to give my definition of responsibility to you.
Oh, sweet. Sorry.
Yeah, my reframing is, instead of having a knee-jerk reaction, we could take a deep breath and have a response. Far more important to choose our response. And that's my definition of responsibility, the ability to respond to any given situation with a positive outcome. That's my definition of responsibility. So realizing we're at choice instead of just having knee-jerk reactions is a game changer.
It so is. And, I talk about this often in business circles where, we all have incidents that come our way. No one is immune to having crap happen in their life. It just happens. And we all get crap that happens to us. And yes, we are human beings and we have emotions, and we do get angry. We do get sad. We do get, insert negative emotion here. The key is how long do we hold on to that emotion, and what is our choice to react to that incident? Yeah. How do we choose? Every single one of us to a person has that choice. That's powerful thing when you realize that, like, I could choose to either be upset about this for a month, or I can choose to say, you know what, I'm just going to redirect my energy and go positive this way and get that thing go bye-bye.
Yeah. Wayne Dyer's story comes to mind. He was talking about this guy who they came to his house and said, you know, your son died in the war. And people saw him out dancing that night. And he said, you know, how could you be out dancing tonight when your son just died? He's like, I could grieve for one day, or I could grieve for 20 years. I choose to go out and have a good time tonight. It's a weird concept at first, but that's how quickly we are at choice if we apply that.
Yeah, and it's great to provide that kind of example. When we take it to the extreme, it makes it easier for people to make those choices that aren't so extreme during the day. And so I love those comparative type stories. So I didn't mention it out loud, and I want to before we go any further, is the website we were just watching. For those of you listening only on podcast, it's Global Mind Stretch, and that's GLOBAL MINDSTRETCH, just like it sounds, globalmindstretch.com. And he does have a button there for a discovery call. And oh my gosh, did I give it away?
You do have a free meditation also.
Oh, sweet. Is that part of the gift we were talking about for tonight?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Both of my businesses, the personal one you're talking about now, I have a free meditation, and then I have the corporate quick break for the corporate people. So I have a couple free meditations for everyone listening.
Oh, fantastic. And thank you for that. We'll put that link up here in a little bit, and hope you don't mind, but I did a link shortener version of it for you there, Kelly, so that people that are listening could write it down and get to it. It's actually got your name in it. If you don't, it's amazing, man. Technology. Oh my goodness. This is so great. Let's see. Rock star, actor, model, hypnotherapist. I mean, it's that's what everyone goes through, right? Everyone goes through that same, I mean, gosh, I'm right in the middle of doing none of that myself. No, I'm kidding. It's incredibly interesting to me. And it's also very reassuring, especially when you start out in the rock and roll area where everyone has this preconceived notion of you're just a bunch of hell-raising, partying, crazy guys. Well, you probably did some partying and some hell-raising, but it's a business in its own right. And it takes a lot of work and practice and rehearsal, and you're traveling, and there's a lot to it that people don't see under the cover, so to speak. And I can imagine what you learned through that process in the areas of work ethic and, you know, and accuracy, because you don't want to miss notes when you're up there, you know, and you want to be in shape so you can actually move around on stage and still sing. Cause I got out of breath just walking around stage and talking. It's like, I don't know how you guys do that, run around and still scream at the top of your lungs and do it in tune. I'm like, so just imagine all of the things you've learned in your life. Is there a way to put a value on that? I couldn't imagine.
Everything I've done 110%, and I was into it fully. I think that's one of the good messages. And another thing I was thinking about, just as you were talking, show business. I separated show and business. The show, I mean, we did a show at the Whiskey on a Saturday night. That was just fun. Every night when we got up at 2 a.m, because I lived with the whole band, and we drove downtown rehearsal and practiced for 4 hours till 6 a.m. until we went back to our crappy day jobs. That was the business. Every single night from 2 to 6 a.m, we'd go downtown and rehearse, and just hardly get any sleep. But that was what it took.
And that's what I mean. What's that Dire Straits song? You get your money for nothing and your chicks for free. You know,
Right.
That's what people think, you know, that you just fell into a guitar, you started playing it. Hey, he's pretty good. Let's put him on stage and you become a rock star and a millionaire in a snap of a finger. It's like, you know, it takes about 10 years to become an overnight success.
That's true.
I love that saying, because it is so true. I don't think there's any exception to that rule, that you must put in the effort, the time, the blood, sweat, and tears that very few people see that happen in the background. The only thing they see is the result. And, you know, thank goodness that these people are making that kind of result for themselves after all that work. And you did the same all the way through. I mean, my goodness, success. So kudos to you. Oh, gosh, I just look at the clock. I don't like looking at the clock because it tells me we're getting close.
I was going to say I'm a lifelong martial artist. And one thing that comes to mind is, you know, practicing one move 10,000 times, you become an expert at it.
Yeah.
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 Repetition is a key to mastery. Yes, definitely. Yeah, and I do this with my team. I say, I know I'm repeating myself again, but as you know, and as you remember, assumptive language, repetition is key to mastery, and it truly is. And I know I am doing them a favor by repeating things that are beneficial. I know it, and it's like, but if you frame it that way, they kind of wake up a little bit more. They're not like, oh God, not again.
Well, it's funny. That's when my wife comes to me with problems. I'm like, you know my answer. Meditate. I don't know. I don't have any new answers. We've been together 10 years. You know what I'm going to say.
It's only the answer that works. I don't know what else to tell you. Oh my goodness. Yes. And the love languages, all that good stuff we were talking about. I'm just, oh my goodness. So we're not there. We're not even close yet. I like to end every show with a very special question. And it's a question that I started asking. I've been doing the show for a little over 5 years now. In the beginning stages, I would kind of ask them haphazardly, on purpose, but not every show. And I'd ask this one question, and it started becoming apparent, like, wow, that was an incredible answer. Wow. Same question. That was another incredible answer. And then it kept going. I'm like, there's something to this question. I'm going to make this the closing question of every show. So that's coming up. So everyone don't go anywhere. I failed to mention earlier in the show, but we do have live viewers watching this show. Go figure. And I want to reward you for being here. And so what we're going to do right here in about, 5 minutes or so, I'm going to give away a phenomenal little prize. And that is a 5-night stay at a 5-star luxury resort of your choosing from many areas of the world. You get to choose. And that's compliments of Reach Your Peak. And this is no small prize. This is a vacation stay. They don't take you from the front door and funnel you down to the basement and turn on the water drip torture machine and tie you down and force you into a timeshare. It doesn't work that way. No, get that visual out of your head. You go to the penthouse. Well, and maybe not the penthouse. You are in a wonderful, beautiful room, just as if you're a full paying customer. They know no different. They treat you no different. It is phenomenal. I know this because a very close friend of mine has gone on this very thing 2 different times, and it's a great, great price. So don't go anywhere. You have to be watching live, so don't go anywhere if you're watching live. If you're not watching live, quick plug, go to themindbodybusinessshow.com, themindbodybusinessshow.com. There's lots of buttons on there that all say where and when to watch. Click any one of them, and it will whisk you right down to the form where you say, I want to know when your next show goes live. That way you won't miss it. And that way you can enter to win this incredible prize. And yeah, you can win it more than once if you want. And even our guest experts, hint, hint, wink, wink, Kelly Fisher, can win. Yes, yes. And I've had guest experts win. It's pretty awesome. All right, let's see. Let's get that off of the screen. So, yes, that question's coming up. And you have a gift to give away. We talked about it briefly. Let's pull that up if you don't mind. Let's get that going. And so it was I'll let you explain it. Let me bring up the actual URL real quick so people can see that from Kelly Fisher. He is going to be offering a nice little call that you can get on with him. And he just briefly talked about it. I'm going to bring it up on the screen so that everyone can get a visual. See, another good reason to be watching live is to know where we're going with this. And there it is. It's a calendar that I'm going to pull up in a second. There it is, 30-minute clarity call. So Kelly, appreciate you for offering this. And people, please take advantage of this and do it mindfully, knowing that he is giving away his valuable free time to you to help you improve yourself. So go ahead, take it away, Kelly. What's entailed in this wonderful gift?
Yeah, I break down on a clarity call what you're going through. Usually anxiety is my specialty. What you're going through, how your mind is working, and then show you a path out of that. So I break down in the 30-minute clarity call exactly what you're going to need to do to change your mind and change your life at the same time.
That's all. Just change your mind and change your life. Nothing bigger. It's no big deal. So, and seriously, making light of it on purpose, because you should not make light of it. It is, it's life-changing. And so the URL you want to go to, it's on the screen, but write this down. Write it down. It's ryp.im/. Kelly-Fisher. It's Kelly-Fisher. Make sure everything is in lowercase, no caps. So it's ryp.im/Kelly-Fisher. And that will take you directly to the calendar we're showing on the screen here live. If you're watching recorded video, you see it. If you're listening on a podcast, you don't see it, but write that down and visit it and book that call, and just do nothing short of changing your life. That's all it is. So it's your choice. That'd be a great way to get to know Kelly at a deeper level, which is also very valuable. And then you'll be able to make that decision. How much farther do I want to go forward with this? Because you're going to have parts of your life that are going to improve so drastically, and you go, I want more. I know that's what happened to me. I mean, the first time I went through the first NLP process with my mentor, I'm like, whoa, more, please. What else is there? That was nice. And then you may even take it to the point where Kelly shows you ways and resources to do the same thing and help people like he's doing. I don't know. Yeah. You were about to say something, Kelly.
Well, I was going to say, I think I maybe shared before the show, but when I found my first mentor in Los Angeles, I realized he was a hypnotherapist, and I had anger management issues back in the day. And like literally the second session, it was gone. I'm like, oh, I need to do this for a living. So I found H.M.I, Hypnosis Motivation Institute. I'm like, this is what I want to do. This is my new path.
It's real. It works. I mean, when I came home after going through all this, my wife noticed change. My kids noticed change. My son went through it with me, the formal training. And his sister said, "You're different, Wyatt. I want what you have." And he literally took her as a trainer and sat down in her kitchen, chair to chair, and took her through the process. I almost started crying on the spot. I had to leave the room. I was like, "Oh, this is awesome!" And so it's real. It works. The differences are noticeable, and they're more noticeable by those who know you sometimes than you yourself. That's what happened with me, and then initially, and then later, I'm like, "Well, I can tell. Oh, there's no doubt." So what is one of the most dramatic changes you've seen or heard and got feedback on that you can remember? Any of the clients you've gone through in the past that just kind of stand out in your mind, like, wow, that was pretty awesome, which is only every one of them, but you know.
Yeah, no, like I said, I've had, God bless, I had several clients that were on suicidal watch that are still alive today, which I'm blessed to help them with. But one thing I want to express is, no matter how dark it seems, there's somebody else that has been through that, including me. And that's why I use the word depression, where it starts with anger on ourselves. We depress our own emotions down where it's such a small circle. No way anybody could understand what I'm going through. Yes, there are people that I've been there. There are people that understand what you're going through. So no matter how dark it seems, there's because I always talk about the emotional overload, overwhelm, anxiety, suicidal thoughts, depression. There's a sliding scale that I've been through. And the good news is, once you understand it, we can go back up to the light. So there's always a way out. There's always an answer.
And ladies and gentlemen, that is why you want to choose someone like Kelly to work with, because he's been through it and he's come out of it, and he knows how to do that for other people, to help you to do it for yourself through the wonderful magic known as hypnosis, which is not magic at all. It is just an amazing, wonderful, and very beautiful science that gets results. So just want to put that out there. So real quick, the prize, and then that last question. Nobody go away. You do not want to miss this last question. Kelly's probably going, what the heck is it? All right, real quick. To enter to win the 5-night vacation stay at a 5-star luxury resort, you want to get out your pen and pencil. Do not go to this website yet. Write this down. The moment we sign off, we're done. We're not live anymore. That is when you go to enter. We will be monitoring. Do not worry. You will not lose your spot if you enter to win. Here it is. Write this down. It's coming up on the screen right now for those of you watching live. You want to go to ryp.im/vacation. Pretty simple. ryp.im/vacation. Write that down. Don't go there now. Don't go there now. What did they hear? What did they hear, Kelly? They heard go there now, because we don't process the don't. The subconscious doesn't process the don't. Don't not
doesn't
go there.
Yes, exactly. I just want to say quickly that my first TEDx talk 6-7 months ago, I think it was in New York. It was how to end anxiety in 3 months and not 3 years. And Joel, because he lived right down the street, he showed up and he recorded it for me. So it's a dear friend of mine.
Joel, I love you, Joel. You are awesome. He's a great guy, no doubt, for sure. And it's understandable that he chose you. That there's no, my God, thank you for coming on, Kelly. So appreciate it. So this last question that I love to end the show with, there's a couple of really cool things about it. Number one is it's very profound, and there's no such thing as a wrong answer. It doesn't exist. It's not a quiz. It's not a test. It's the exact opposite, in fact, and that is that the only correct answer will be yours because it's going to be unique to you. Even to take it to the point of if it takes you a millisecond or if it takes you 10, 15, 20 seconds to ponder and come up with the answer, even that is absolutely perfect because why? Again, it's your answer. It's unique to you. So with all that buildup, are you ready?
I was going to say, I'm nervous now. Wait a second.
That's right.
Purposely you did that. I see what's going on here.
Oh, I would never have done that on purpose, haven't I? All right. So here we go. And now, Kelly Fisher, how do you define success?
Whew, wow. Success is the feeling of accomplishment, of making it. I was listening to somebody not too long ago talking about wealth. Well, wealth is my 6-year-old son, my wife, my business. We're both entrepreneurs. We both own businesses. And I shot a short video the other day when I was watching, I was on Gaia watching a program, and one of my teachers came on, David Lyon. I studied street hypnosis from him. I'm like, oh, that's so great, man. You made it, David. That's so cool. And then I was going to the kitchen afterwards. I'm like, when is it going to be my turn to be on a show like that? And I thought, this morning I was on a show in London on a TV show. They were questioning me about my success in my anxiety program. So it's like when you're grinding, it's about taking a step back, zooming out a little bit and going, wait a second, I've accomplished a lot. This is really going well. So it's that refocus, I believe, is what defines success.
My goodness. Yeah. I got to tell you, one thing that is very, very interesting to me that keeps coming up over and over besides the screen going crazy is that I've been doing this for quite some time. I've asked that question many times now over the years, and no two people yet have answered it the same way.
I bet.
That is why it's so profound. I mean, you said wealth, but yours wasn't financial wealth. It was your son, your wife, your business. And that's to a person that I've interviewed. Kelly, this is so enlightening to me. Not one person said the primary focus was on money. You didn't even mention it. You said wealth and everybody else went there, but that's not what you were talking about. You didn't even bring it up at all. Most don't, just like you. And I appreciate people like you because that just speaks volumes of where your heart is, where you come from. You are here to help people. You are not here for just monetary gains. Let's be clear. We must make money. We're not anti-money, but that is not the focus of what most entrepreneurs are doing this for. It's because they want to make a difference and serve people and change lives for the better. And Kelly, you come up to be as being no different than that. And that's a beautiful thing.
Yeah. Yeah. I think I was telling you this morning, I was working with a couple and I was self-aware at the moment going, wow, people really trust my opinion about relationships and how the mind works. And God, I love my job. Holy cow.
And I'm sure everyone you've touched loves you. And it's a mutual loving respect back and forth because you're changing their lives and you get the joy of having something to do with that. Isn't that's like the greatest gift in the world is to be able to have a gift. You know, you've worked hard. You've put in the blood, sweat, and tears to hone in your craft, to be the best at what you do so that you can get the best results for the people that come to you and never let anybody down. And then they get to trust you and you get to follow through and go, I love it. This is awesome. It's like, man, it's like getting that same endorphin is just like jacking one out of the park. It feels great. You know, it's like, oh, I love it. All right, brother, we got to cut. Well, we don't have to, but it's time. Oh, I went 5 minutes over like usual. Ladies and gentlemen, I just want to say, please reach out to Kelly Fisher. Go to globalmindstretch.com. Schedule your discovery call. Go to ryp.im/Kelly-Fisher. Schedule that initial call, get to know him at a deeper level. Something tells me you're going to hear exactly what you heard here tonight. He's going to be the same person. There's nothing false or phony about him. He wears his emotions, or not his emotions. He wears his experience on his sleeve. He's not one of those, he's a great guy. I can tell. I have a great sense for this, and I appreciate you, Kelly. And my gosh, Mr. Solomon referred him, so I can't go wrong, right? Joel, come on.
There's that connection.
That is it. I appreciate you, Kelly. I cannot tell you how much. On behalf of the amazing Kelly Fisher, I'm your host, Brian Kelly of the Mind Body Business Show. And until next time, please go out and do two things. Everyone, please do two things. Number one, go out and crush it in your business so you can serve more people. And number two, above everything and all else, please be blessed. That's it for us. We'll see you again next time. Take care for now. So long, everyone.
Thanks, Brian.
Thank you for tuning in to the Mind Body Business Show podcast at www.themindbodybusinessshow.com. My name is Brian Kelly.